music of Brazil every week right here.
Tune in the Brazilian Hour every Saturday night at 11 on KSJE Farmington.
On the Media is all about print, broadcast, and the internet.
And civil liberties, we do a lot on that.
The show is about technological utopia and creepy dystopia.
Law and lawbreakers.
Blowhards and liars.
Mainly, though, On the Media is about an hour. Please spend it with us.
Saturday mornings at 7 on KSJE Farmington. Hi everyone, I'm Scott Michlin.
And I'm Jenny Lee Ryan.
And we're here to tell you how to become a zero-mile achiever.
First, register online for the Zero Mile Fun Run at KSJE.com.
Second, join us at San Juan College Graduation Plaza on Saturday, May 18th.
Third, run. We'll start the race at 10:30 a.m. on an actual 27-foot course downhill, and that's it.
All proceeds benefit listener-supported KSJE.
So register now at KSJE.com.
This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llanos Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center. This program on KSJE is supported by Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation, providing a competent, innovative, and caring team of professionals to serve wealth management, trust administration, employee benefit plans, retirement planning, and estate settlement needs. Find out more about Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation at 505-599-0181. Eleven minutes past 8 o'clock. It's Wednesday morning, May 15th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Scott Michlin, and thank you for tuning in to KSJE 90.9 FM, the information and cultural beacon of the Four Corners, broadcasting from our visual radio studio at San Juan College. Special good morning also to our viewers who are watching the program live this morning on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. Welcome aboard, everyone. We're glad you're with us. Coming up in just a moment, my guest Brent Garcia is here from Film Four Corners. We'll be talking about the work that he and his team is doing to attract more filmmaking to San Juan County, and there's much more involved than just that. And we'll be talking about that in the next few moments right here on KSJE, so stay right where you are. Later on this hour, we will take our trip to the Encouragement Lab. Dr. Mike Hadabal will be joining me, talking about relationships and communication. That is coming up this morning at 8:55 right here on KSJE. And of course, for the entire hour, you can listen to us at 90.9 FM. You can stream the signal at KSJE.com or watch us on our visual radio platforms, the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. After the news at 9 o'clock, Mick Hess will take us roving with the arts, and today Mick is playing music from composer Benjamin Britten. That's on the show today at 9:06. At 10:30, it's our local and regional author program, Right on Four Corners, and host Tracy Hales-Vass is talking to Jeff Habinger. He is the owner of Artemisia Publishing in Albuquerque, and she'll be talking with him about some of the challenges and also the delights of publishing books in New Mexico. That is coming up today at 10:30 on Right on Four Corners here on KSJE. A quick reminder, of course, to join us here on Saturday at 10 o'clock here at San Juan College Graduation Plaza. It's the KSJE Zero Mile Fun Run. The run will start at 10:30 and it will end at 10:31. You can register right now at KSJE.com and support this radio station for $15. Get yourself a great t-shirt, and we will see you at 10 o'clock this Saturday, May 18th, right here at San Juan College. Well, let me introduce my guest who is here with me this morning. The one and only Brent Garcia is here.
Hey,
good morning.
Scott, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming in. You're a busy
Pleasure.
guy these days.
I keep myself buried.
Yeah, you
basically.
do. Yeah, you do. You're one of those. It's kind of like be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Yeah, here
right?
we are.
And
Absolutely.
There's so much to talk with you about. And one thing I want to talk a little bit about is the community just got over this big influx of filmmaking.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you've been preaching and telling us about for the last few years about this area could be a hot spot for filmmaking, and we can get a lot of these Hollywood folks
and
in.
I think KOB even gave us a shout out as the up and coming hot spot.
I think they did
for film.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Because at one point there were at least maybe 3 related films that had or would be shooting in the Shiprock area.
Yeah,
in the last month or so.
So there's been 2.
Okay,
which everybody has Facebook and Instagram, so you know that The Rock was here.
Officially, you can't talk too much about it,
right,
but we all know.
But I know that Jack Black mentioned something about being in Shiprock.
He might have mentioned something.
He may have played some shuffleboard at Three Rivers.
He might have, and posted that on Instagram. And may have called us a rad little town.
Jablinski Games.
Right.
So, I mean, and that wasn't anything directly tied to Film Four Corners at all. That was the State Film Office. That was the productions chose to come up here. But I do know that we're anticipating seeing more of that. Me and my team were working on getting more of that type of work up here in the area. Part of what we're trying to facilitate, and really what we've kind of been prepping for the last year, is how do we get them to stay longer. Right. So
because they were here for maybe, I don't know how much the pre-production work was, maybe a couple weeks, and then the actual principal photography was maybe a few days, right, or a week.
I think they were here for about a week or 5 days.
Okay.
And
not that we don't like that. It's great, but longer is better.
They brought in, just as an example, so some of these other productions brought in several hundred people, up to 200 people. And that's hotels, that's food, that's ancillary services, that's
gym memberships, apparently.
That's hiring people for, basic stuff, maintenance and cleanup and things like that. Security, they hire a lot of local security. So, in
addition to the crews, right? Because to
the crews, they hired some PAs, they hired some
production assistants.
In several departments,
right?
And I've got friends that worked on several of those. I worked on one of the films that was up here before,
right? Is that the one with Mr. Hanks?
I allegedly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I hear.
Okay. All right.
I hear that he was up here.
He was not on Instagram as much as some of the others were. So, okay.
But if he had been, that would have been the movie that I had worked on.
I see. Okay. Thank you very much for that. Can neither confirm nor deny.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay.
But, it's one of those things where I don't have any hard numbers in, right? Like Las Cruces touts that the Mule was there for 5 days. They spent $1.2 million in the local Las Cruces economy.
Right.
And my guess would be, based on what we saw here and how many hotel rooms and things like that we know that got blocked out, it would be pretty comparable. My guess
I
would
imagine those numbers will be coming, don't you think? Someone is probably putting those together.
I would think so. I would imagine that Tanya or somebody from the State Film Office is doing that. We're kind of doing a little bit of that research on our own because we got to talk to hotels anyway for the film festival.
Right. But this is kind of what you've been talking about and what you would hope to see more of.
Sure.
With Film Four Corners, which is the organization you now have founded and developed and now are president of. Yeah,
for the last year, for the last 3 years, we've been saying film's a viable industry in the state. We know that the state is putting some resources behind it. It has kind of gone faster than what I had anticipated with the new legislation and with some of the things that have passed. But this is definitely something that we've foreseen and I've foreseen for quite a long time.
Right.
But I got to, it's really exciting to see such big projects coming up here.
Sure.
So quickly.
And some of these big names too.
Big names.
Because we've talked before about how it could, film is one part of this economic development driver, and that's really the other angle of this, is it could be an economic driver for the state. But there's other projects like TV commercials and other shoots and or
shows. Love
or
to get a TV show up here.
Episodic television,
Episodic
or streaming or what apparently is the new thing now,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah.
so any of those things, and so that's what we're talking about.
That's what we're talking about.
And we're ready and willing and able to host any of these.
Yes, yeah. So the last year we've been working on the infrastructure. So a big portion of what we're doing, if you go to film4corners.com,
Right.
you can sign up to list your location. I just spoke to Don Gray, who's the locations manager for the State Film Office down in Santa Fe, and he was like, I can't stress enough how important it is for you to have your inventory, so that if a production comes in and they're like, okay, we want to shoot in Shiprock, we're going to be out there for 5 days, and they spend $1 million or $1.5 million in our local economy, how do we get them here for another 5 days? How do we get them here for a soundstage stay?
Right.
How do we get for 10 or 15 days? How
Right.
do we get them where they're hiring more of our local people and dumping more of that film budget into where we work and live and play, right?
Right. So when we
So
go to
that's
your
the goal.
website, and if we want, so when you say inventory, what types of things are you talking
So
about?
we're looking, I mean, really, it's everything, right? Because any movie needs what they need: banks, they need gas stations, they need convenience stores, they need hotels, they need homes. Think of Breaking Bad, right? Like there was several key homes that got used throughout the entire production.
Right, but not
There was
necessarily gigantic mansions necessarily. It could be just a neighborhood
Neighborhood.
run-of-the-mill, maybe home that they
Absolutely.
used, right? And
all the little
it's now become very
motels,
famous. And,
all the little motels that we have around here,
Right.
Any of that we need all of that. But one of the things that really sets us apart from other parts of the state is that we do have a very diverse geographic location. So on part of the county, we've got the Bisti Badlands and Shiprock and kind of these deserty, sci-fi, otherworldly
right,
type locations.
right.
But you go north just a little ways, and we've got the river, and we've got pine trees, and we've got aspen trees, and
forests, and a lot of
lakes
different
and forests, and
landscapes.
we've got
Sure.
a lot of different landscapes. So
So
we've
if a
got a bunch
production-
of arches, right? We've
Yes, that's
got
right.
tons of arches through the county. So
So if a production company could see all that within a 100-mile radius, that maybe makes us a good...
Even within a 30-mile radius.
Okay,
right?
even better.
Think of... So if any of you out there are like, I've got a great idea for a location, and we can go a little further, right? I mean, because obviously they were allegedly they were hubbing in Farmington,
Allegedly.
and then driving to
Yes.
Shiprock every day,
Right.
So it's not a deal breaker, but the closer into wherever they're stationed, the better.
Right.
And so 30, 40 miles would be a good circumference. So.
Mm-hmm.
If you're home or business, or if you'd like to be in a movie, and they pay. I mean, some
Right.
of the independents can't. Like
Sure.
college students probably aren't going to pay you a $500 a day to
Right.
use your home, but larger productions will pay quite a bit, or put you up, or whatever that is, so that they can use your place. You can tell them no if you don't want them to shoot there.
Right.
But what we'd like to do is really.
But if you have that inventory, that's the first step.
That's the first step.
And they can choose and look, because again, you've got these casting folks and folks that are looking for locations they're looking maybe through photos and saying, that's the house. We want that 1950s look, or we want that 1960s look, or whatever they're looking for.
Absolutely. And for them to be like, okay, well, we want to go film at the river, or we want, okay,
Right.
but they want it, if they're already moving all these people up here, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to move 200 cast and crew and everybody up here.
Right. Allegedly.
We want to make it worth, future projects.
Yeah, okay, then they will do that.
We want to make it worth we want to make it worth it for them to stay. Now, the other big component to this is in the legislation this year, any communities 60 miles outside of Albuquerque and Santa Fe qualify with a qualifying soundstage. That's
Okay.
we're talking about the soundstage. A lot of people were wondering, why does it matter? Why are we spending that money?
Right.
This is one of the big reasons, is that with a qualifying soundstage, these productions qualify for an additional 5% if they shoot outside of Albuquerque or Santa Fe.
On top of the state's
On top
incentives
of the state's
already
25
to attract film
Exactly.
projects. Right.
On top of their 25% incentive. So production that's going to come in and spend, $2 or $3 or $4 million up here,
Right.
they get an additional 5%. It makes it much more appealing for them to be like, okay, we'll spend the money, we'll bring the people up, and we'll shoot in the soundstage for a couple of days, and we'll shoot these locations, and everything that they spend here, they qualify for. And that includes hiring our people, includes food and travel and all of the services that they'll need here, welders
Right.
or construction people, whatever that looks like. And so with the qualifying soundstage, we'll be attracting much more of these types of big projects up to our area, and we want them to stay longer. We want them to stay for 2 or 3 weeks instead of
5 days.
5 or 10 days.
Allegedly.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And you mentioned soundstage, and only if we had a soundstage, but again, after this year's legislative session, you've got some money now and you can find a soundstage, correct?
Well, I don't. The county does.
The county, pardon me. Okay.
The county does. And I'm basically, as a local filmmaker with the nonprofit, with everything that we're doing, it makes sense for us to kind of be involved and
Right.
and voice our opinions where
Right.
people will listen to us.
Right.
But so
Well, you know what you're talking about, and I think the county's listening to you.
I hope so.
Allegedly.
We've been doing it for a while.
Yes.
So yeah, no.
So the state approved $1 million
$1 million
for San Juan County to build or create a soundstage somewhere in the county.
Correct. And recently we went out with Don Gray from the State Film Office and Mike Stark and Jack Fortner and Nate Duckett and the whole gamut.
County executive, county commissioner, Mayor Farmington, all these people. Right.
And
who you need to have on the same page.
Absolutely. So we went and did some shopping 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Something like that, 3 weeks ago. And we looked at several different locations. We're trying to identify the best spot in the area to either build or retrofit a property that could be utilized as a soundstage.
Okay.
And we've got some options. There's a bunch of good stuff out there. So, and we're still looking. So if any folks out there,
describe the type of property does it need to have a lot of land? Does it need to have a big giant open space? What would be the perfect piece of property, I guess, for this project?
So we need the state minimum requirement is 7,000 square feet unobstructed.
Okay.
With 18-foot ceilings.
That's the building.
That's the building.
Or build it like that.
Or build it
room
like
to
that.
build it like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we would need a big parking lot, like ample parking and ample access in and out of the area.
Okay.
Right. So just to kind of give you an idea, imagine 40 semi-truck trailers parked out there, like plus crew parking for another 150 cars. Like,
okay.
That's about the type of parking space we would need.
More trucks that we may or may not have seen parked near the Shiprock Pinnacle.
That's pretty maxed out. There was a lot.
Allegedly.
I drove it. There was a lot of stuff out there.
I may or may not have seen a photo on Facebook about those trucks.
I heard something about that.
Yeah, right. But that's what we're talking about. So it's a pretty major piece of property.
Yeah,
right?
So we need a ton of parking.
Okay.
Something with a big bay door or garage door, and
right.
preferably something with some office spaces or work areas or things like that. So
okay.
We have identified a couple of buildings that would be great. The city of Farmington has identified some land that it could possibly be built on. So we're looking at a couple different options now. I don't believe the funding will be available until August or September.
It's part of the new budget that starts July 1, so that makes sense.
Exactly.
Right.
And so we're planning on having something up and running, by mid next year.
Okay,
possibly.
2020.
So,
but exciting, right?
Very exciting.
That you got money to do this, to make it work.
Absolutely.
Because that, until this year, I don't know if we knew that was even a possibility.
Ha.
And the reason I think that the state approved that was because of its economic development feature for this part of the state. Is that not part of this?
Yeah,
right?
it all ties in. It's part of this whole kind of statewide film economic growth initiative.
Right.
If you look at Atlanta as a model, 10 or 15 years ago, Atlanta did a very similar push.
Sure.
right? They put a bunch of money into incentivizing. They put in some educational programs. They built some sound stages, and boom, Disney and Marvel and all the big dogs are now shooting in Atlanta. In fact, they pulled a lot of their resources out of the Albuquerque area and moved it to the Atlanta area. And, you know, I think now they're saying over the past decade or so, there's been, you know,
lots of investment.
Lots of billions of dollars.
Yeah, we'd probably be surprised at the movies we've seen that were filmed, at least in part, in Atlanta.
Take anything Marvel in the last 8 years, it was filmed in Atlanta. Baby Driver was filmed in Atlanta.
Okay.
Walking Dead, obviously.
Sure.
Most of the big stuff that we're seeing right now is filmed in Georgia or in that surrounding area.
And so here in New Mexico, I think we do have some reason for positivity and for wishful thinking, because we have a big investment from Netflix now in Albuquerque.
Correct, yeah.
And that can only, I think, help some of these other areas that are working to develop our film projects and things like that, when you have that many creative people in the state.
Yeah,
and try to take advantage of these incentives and these locations, right, for some of their projects. And Netflix is only going to do more and more,
absolutely,
I think, series work that they've been so successful with.
They have a part of their pitch to come into the state was that over the next 10 years, they have a 10-year contract. They're going to spend $1 billion in production in the state and employ, I think the number's 1,500 people, right? So.
Okay.
Which would make them one of the largest employers. And actually, if you look at the film statistics nationwide, film and TV employs hundreds of thousands of people, and not just actors. Because I think the perception is like, okay, Hollywood's going to come in, and they make all the money, and we get nothing, and it's not a good deal for us, right?
Sure, right.
But... I can pull up some statistics if we want to really get into that. But basically, the gist of it is 80% of who the film industry employs that's below line is small businesses with under 10 employees. And they spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars a year on these services. It's because it really is. If you look at a film set, it's a pyramid, right? Like there's the talent, and then there's the actors and the director and these people, and then it's like everybody.
Right.
Sorry,
yeah, that's
it's
right.
like everybody else that that it takes to make a film, and a lot of these are electricians and contractors and lighting guys and caterers,
right?
And so,
well, I just want to say, for anyone who sat through all the credits from those Marvel movies to watch for that end scene, that's all the people that you're talking about, whose names are on those credits that are scrolling by for 7 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
That's what you're talking about.
Absolutely. Visual effects people, editors, sound people. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity there, and I think the state with the Netflix deal really recognizes that. I think that the leadership in San Juan County has really recognized what the state is doing, and so I'm really excited to be a part of it, and I'm really excited to see what happens for some economic growth and some new industry for our community.
Right. Well, and that brings us to the other topic that I know we want to get to this morning, and that is Film Four Corners, this organization that you have started, nonprofit, and working with the county, with the city, and also with San Juan College, because there's an education component to all this as well, as we train folks to get into this industry. And San Juan College, everyone, I think, hopefully you know, has a digital media arts and design program here.
A really good program. Really talented kids are coming out of there. I went to the open house 2 weeks ago.
Right. Lots of cool projects,
really cool stuff.
Very creative.
Really cool stuff.
And kudos to Luke Renner and all the other professors and teachers who are over there. But anyway, but that then brings us to the film festival that you are working on, and it is happening this fall in September.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
It is exciting. So the story for the film festival it's completely out of control from what I thought it was going to be. So we went back in September, October of last year. We went to the Las Cruces Film Festival, which was great. Thank you for having us, everybody.
Right.
But, you know, one of the things I was talking to some other filmmakers and my wife and things like that about was, you know, if San Juan County, if Farmington, if we as a community are going to be serious about being in the film business, if we want some of those dollars, if we want some of that work up in our area, we have to take some steps to be players, right?
Right.
And part of that is the soundstage. Part of it is education. Part of it is these other things, these components that we're trying to get into place. But for me, one of them was we need to bring people up here to showcase what we've got.
We have to get on their radar, don't we? I mean, they don't know that we might exist, even though we'd like them to know that.
We would like them to know that. And I think with the city's push to be an outdoor recreation hub, we are so versed in outdoor recreation and these beautiful outdoor locations. It fit really, really well. So on the drive back from Las Cruces, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm doing a film festival. I'm starting a committee. As soon as we get home, and on the drive up from Las Cruces, I started making phone calls. And I'm like, hey, we're doing a film festival. We're meeting on Friday. And we got back into town, and 3 days later was when the public announcement for
this is happening
Netflix came out.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, well now we got to do something really cool, because originally it was going to be like a 3-day like we'll show some movies, and now it's turned into this whole kind of South by Southwest
event
spectacle,
as
it were. And and we really do. Our goal is to bring in 200 to 300 out of the area filmmakers. We will have some location material loops and video and photos throughout the event to kind of showcase some locations. Several people have suggested doing some type of like tour, especially for some of the filmmakers that are coming in, which I think is a fantastic idea. So we're looking at a couple different options for how do we best showcase the area. How do we talk about the incentives? I know the state film office is going to have some representation up here. On Tuesday, we're going to do a town hall. So that's going to be open to the public, whether people are pass holders for the festival or not. You can come listen, and the state office folks and some of these other people who are really in charge of everything will explain how everything's working and give people an opportunity to ask questions. So we're excited about that. But the film festival's gotten big. It's a big thing now.
And again, it's the website, right, for folks who can go and get more information about it?
Film4corners.com and click on festival, and then there's all the stuff that is associated with that.
Okay. And we're seeing you've got some celebrities coming too?
I do. We do have some celebrities coming.
We might recognize at least a couple of them on the screen that we're looking at, right?
Yep. So below is that's my brother, actually.
Well, he's a celebrity.
Workshop.
Yeah.
He thinks.
Careful.
No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't. So we've got Vivica A. Fox, who is in Kill Bill and Independence Day, and she's currently in the show Empire, which is a fantastic show for those of you who don't watch it. The music's awesome.
Right.
Noel G., who was in Training Day and The Fast and the Furious, and Quentin Aaron from The Blind Side. He was also in our film Aurora's Law that filmed up here back in January. Eric Martinez, who was also in Better Call Saul. He was in Better Call Saul. He was also in Aurora's Law. We've got Sean Colin Young, who was in True Detective and Santa Clarita Diet on Netflix, for those of you. And he's got some other stuff that's in the works.
Okay.
But he's got a film out called Heart Baby that is really fantastic. And we're doing a special screening of that film. We've got some other bigger films that we're trying to bring in that we haven't quite locked down, but we'll make some announcements on that as we get a little closer. Okay,
but these are folks that are going to be here. They're committed. They're coming.
They're booked. And they're ready to go.
And that brings me to the next topic in the minutes we have remaining this morning, Brent Garcia, which is sponsorships and how you're going to pay for all this.
We need them.
Right?
We need them.
Okay.
So, and we've had some really great support. Marion Oil and Gas and Garcia and Company Jewelers. There's a whole list. The county's been great. The city's been great. We have several sponsors, but we are looking for sponsorships. We do have some sponsorship packets that are available on the website.
Okay.
And if you're like, and even if you're like, okay, well, I don't need advertising, I don't want to spend $2,000, but if you want to support and help and just make a donation, there's you can go on the website. There's tons of stuff. It is a 501c3 nonprofit, so it is a tax deductible donation for you.
Great.
But yeah, we are looking for some. We have a couple spots left for some bigger sponsorship levels. The big thing is the fashion show. Are we running
Okay.
out?
No, well, we're getting there. Go.
Right,
That's
so
good. We're good.
We've got a fashion show that we're doing on Friday night. That's part of the Women in Film celebration.
Right.
And I can't even tell you how excited we are for this. Two of our designers are celebrity designers. Vajay has actually done pieces for Empire, Kevin Hart, Ariana Grande, Vivica Fox, and Stevie Boy is currently on a 25-city, 25-country, 25 U.S. city, 25-country tour, and we're one of his stops. And that's that guy right there.
Right
And
there at the bottom,
He's
yeah.
designed for Lady Gaga and
Right.
Rihanna and Beyonce. He's got several books out. He's a published author. He's a huge deal.
Nice.
And he's going to be in Farmington showcasing
Fashion.
his collection.
Wow.
Heath Cates is
Yeah.
working on directing the event for us, and so it's going to be a really fantastic event. So, and we'll keep you posted. We've got other stuff
Okay.
that's under the bushel basket that we'll be announcing as it gets a little bit closer to the event. But
Okay.
sponsorships, and you can also go online and buy tickets as well. So, and some of the, especially the higher end passes where you can go to like the VIP parties and the fashion event, those are limited spaces just because of the venues that we're going to be occupying.
Right.
So if you want to go, you don't want to sponsor, but you want to go, you can buy tickets online as well. Film4corners.com
Film4corners.com is where you go, everybody, to check it out. And this is happening in September.
September 10th through the 15th.
There you go.
Yep, so it's a big full week event.
And the idea, again, to bring these folks in to show the support of the film industry from the residents here and the businesses here, but also to kind of showcase what we have to offer these
Sure.
folks, whether they're actors or directors or producers or who knows. But that's the folks that you're inviting to come into town to check this out, right?
We've got record executives, we've got platinum selling record producers, we've got distribution companies,
Okay.
we've got actors and directors coming in.
And it's not just a Farmington, San Juan County thing necessarily. It is
Absolutely
Film
not.
Four Corners. So if you want folks in Durango, Cortez, within the sound of our voice, you're welcome.
Submit a film. We want to showcase. To me, that's one of the biggest things. Is I want to be able to showcase local films, local filmmakers, and because we have such talented people here that make great things and tell great stories, and we have such interesting and unique stories in our region. That's a big part of this. Is I want to be able to celebrate those and showcase those for all these out of state. I mean, we're getting films from everywhere. I have almost 200 entries, and most of them are from out of state, and a lot of them are from out of country. So, if we can get some of these folks down here and showcase what this region has to offer from a landscape perspective and a story perspective and a quality of filmmaking, that is only going to open the doors of opportunity for these folks to be able to work on some of these bigger projects or get involved with some collaborations as some new stuff comes in.
Right. And I think, again, your website kind of highlights some of these local films that have been produced here
Sure.
and shot here. We're showing you a few kind of on the screen that I think folks might be surprised that these films were shot here with local folks, local editing, local special effects, all these things that we're
all
looking
done
at.
here. In fact, when we did the one for San Juan County, which was all locally produced material, I got several comments that people were like, "I didn't know that they did a Star Wars thing here. I didn't know that was
Right.
shot here."
Right.
And so, and again, it was all independent. It was all locally produced, and so, yeah, we've got really talented folks here. So we want to be able to highlight that, whether you're in Durango or Arizona, whatever that looks like. And I did have a great conversation with the director of the Navajo Film Festival that is in June.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact date, which is really cool. It's all short films, and it's all Navajo language speaking
Nice.
films, and I'm working with them. I'd like to show some of the films that they get in our festival as well, so that those get a double audience. So, because I think that's a really important component of what we have to offer here, and I think we've got some great filmmakers and some great voices that are not represented as well as they could be. So anything that we can do to help some of that too is fantastic, as well as the students. We have a bunch of student films that we're going to be showing.
Nice.
That are really, really good films.
Excellent. Well, we're excited about it. And it is the Four Corners Film Festival in September. Film4corners.com is the website, everybody. Film Four Corners is the nonprofit organization that has started to kind of help push this forward and make this happen. And from the looks of things are happening. I mean, you've got this going, you've got the soundstage with the county, and a lot of other film projects, and I'm sure there's a lot of other things in the works that you can't tell us about.
Sure, yeah.
Because allegedly these things are happening. Right.
Yeah.
But, keep your eyes peeled, everybody. And I know we maybe have to do a better job of being able to, encounter celebrities on the streets and not freak out. Yeah. But it's still a new thing. It's still kind of new for us.
So I had a conversation with somebody about this a couple of days ago, and it wasn't like some B-list celebrity that people would be like, hey, I think I.
Isn't that so and so?
Oh, that's cool. I just saw somebody.
Guy number 5.
It was The Rock, man. Right. Like, he's one of the biggest stars in. Like, what do you expect? And in fact, like, we're talking
Jack Black and Kevin Hart, and
they're huge.
I mean, at the same time,
right? Like, they're huge. And so, I don't know if they'd been walking around the streets of
anywhere,
it would have been much different, but
probably not.
Yeah.
All right. Good.
And I think, and that's why security's tight, and that's why they try and keep these things hush hush.
Sure.
Imagine if people knew that was coming, like.
Right.
We'd have had people camped out from all over the area to try and get pictures or whatever.
More than we did.
Yeah, right. And so,
and they're on a strict schedule. I mean, they're working.
Right?
And so they can't take an hour out to go visit your class or to go have lunch with you or whatever, right? They're on the clock.
Go play golf or
I mean, as much as I may like to go play a round of golf, they're on the clock. So that makes sense.
So they are, and and I think. I don't want to be like, well, we're going to get used to it because we're going to have all this stuff happening. But that's the goal, right?
Sure.
Like that's the hope.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get used to it. We're going to have all this stuff happening. And, and it may be, we may start seeing stuff trickle in. But at the film festival, we've got some great names coming in for that. We've got some good workshops coming in for that. And as we start bringing in some larger projects and even some of these smaller like $2 or $3 or $4 million productions, those are going to have some names attached to them as well. So, yeah, the goal is hopefully we get a little bit more used to it, like Telluride or Albuquerque or some of these places that have had some of this exposure. But
can't wait.
Remember that they're working.
Yeah,
and let them do their jobs.
There you go.
Yeah,
good advice.
They're just people.
That's true. All right, Brent, so great to have you here.
Thank you so much. Always
Thank you, and we're looking forward to it. And you can list KSJE as a sponsor for the film festival because we are on it. So
love it.
Thank you so much. Brent Garcia, everybody from Film Four Corners, my guest here on KSJE. And I'll be back with more in just a moment, everyone. The time right now is 8:47. This program on KSJE is supported by Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation, providing a competent, innovative, and caring team of professionals to serve wealth management, trust administration, employee benefit plans, retirement planning, and estate settlement needs. Find out more about Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation at 505-599-0181. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, your community hospital with a rich heritage that dates back to before New Mexico was a state. We've been improving the health of the Four Corners since 1910. As a nonprofit hospital, San Juan Regional Medical Center is a values-driven organization. We strive to deliver on our mission to personalize health care and create vitality and enthusiasm in healing. We are here for you when you need us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency